everyone, this is Rachel. I just wanted to make a quick video to discuss the data audit worksheet. We did review this last week in office hours, but a few of you were missing. It's summer and people are traveling, so we wanted to make sure you got this information as well. I will be sending an email out this week with some instructions for the data audit. You will be expected to fill out this form, so that's what we're going to cover today. But before we do that, I just want to give you a little bit more information. So we're going to be sending you 5 PC4 ID subject numbers for your site, hopefully across the board from surgical shunts to PDA stents and balloon valvuloplasties, primary repairs. And we're not actually checking every single data field. It'll just be the ones in this form. To keep it easy, we're going to have you fill it out, send it back to us. We're going to score it, and then we're going to have a call with you and your site lead to go over the results and just have a chat about how things are going over at your site. All in, entering about 5 subjects should take between 2 and 3 hours, and then the call itself should take anywhere probably from 15 to 30 minutes. I think this is the most efficient use of everyone's time, so that's what we chose to do. You will be getting this PDF, which you can fill out in Acrobat, or you can also just print it out and handwrite it in. Both would be fine. If you handwrite it in, we're just going to ask you to scan and send that back. Otherwise, you can just email a saved copy of your PDF back to us. We are going to be going through this really quickly now. You can ignore the tabs. This is more for our side just to help us with the scoring, because we will be scoring this against the registry. So just to begin, we're going to collect a few, under the demographic sections, we're just going to collect the treatment pathway and if it's palliation, if it's single or 2 ventricle. The echo report, we are looking for the date. I should mention, we're going to look for the source and the date of the source, just in case there is any discrepancy between what you send back versus what's entered into the registry. This will kind of just help with some internal processes. So very basic, we're looking for integrated flow, if the PDA is present, if the arteries are confluent, if a genetic evaluation was done. If it was, if there were abnormal results, what were the findings? I'm just going to type it in. We're not breaking it down and drilling down too deep into that. Then we just want to know if there was a palliation. So if there's RVOT stent, PDA stent, BVP, BPV, shunt, or surgical RVOT intervention. The date of the procedure and the weight at the intervention, complications. What you pick for this question will indicate where you're going to fill out the rest of the form. So if it was a PDA stent, you can go into the cath palliation. If it wasn't a cath palliation, you can hit non-applicable. Any complications, if there are, what those were, the sheath time in total minutes. If your report has a start and end time, we're going to ask that you please use a calculator to complete that. If there was an unsuccessful prior attempt at palliation, what the specific form is, if they had any interventions, cardiovascular interventions prior, what that was, any other interventions at the time if this was being performed, etc. If your subject was a surgical shunt, you would go to this area here and answer these questions. Some of them are the same about the complications, unsuccessful prior attempts. The approaches here, we'd like to know about the surgical approach for the shunt, the type of shunt, and the type of right ventricle pulmonary artery connection at RVOT intervention. If your subject had a primary repair, you could skip those and come down to the primary repair tab. Then we're going to go to the hospital course. You'll indicate where you got that from and the date of admission, the date of discharge. Any of these events occur during the hospital encounter, any complications, of mode of feeding at discharge, and if there's a reintervention performed. If your subject comes back for a complete repair hospital course, you can fill this out. If he or she has a Glen or a Fontaine, you'd fill out this. If your subject coming back for a reintervention, we're going to ask that you fill this out. If they had more than one, we're just going to collect the information for the first one. If they had the reintervention, you're going to fill out the date, the weight, the indication, the procedural status, if it's emergent, not emergent, what type of reintervention was performed after the repair, any complications, and if they are, what those were. If your subject has had their annual follow-up, please fill out this information. We're going to take the source and the date for that as well, the date of the follow-up, status at the 1 year, if an echo was performed, and if it was, the date, the weight, the height, any meds that were prescribed at the time of the annual follow-up, and respiratory status. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon. Bye.